Get in here, get in here, get in here, get in here. We are going live, you guys. I've missed you so much. Guess what? I am back. I'm back with a vengeance. Okay. In my Cardi B voice, who I don't listen to, by the way. But, oh well, there's some lessons to learn from her. I never completely write off people. You can always learn something. Don't have to always agree with what the person is doing or whatever, but there's always lessons to learn from other people's experiences. Anyway, as you know, I got interrupted. Life happened, okay? Life happens to the best of us. And I've been interrupted. Yeah, anyway, we're not gonna get into the nitty-gritty stuff, but I'm back. That's all that matters. And today, the title of this video, as you can tell, is Wrong People in the Wrong Room. Do you have wrong people in the wrong room? Do you perhaps have the wrong audience? You know, I attended a meeting today, and in that meeting, it reinforced what I already know. I already know this. It was just reinforced in that meeting. For example, we have heard Jesus had the outer court disciples. So we have, and then there was the middle court disciple, and then there was the inner, Holy of Holies disciples, like, John, those people that we really trusted, maybe with the heart, the deepest, maybe, things. Not everybody had access to Jesus the same way. There were certain people, there were three disciples that were taken up to the mountain of transfiguration. He didn't take all 12. He only took 3. I can't remember the names. I think Simon Peter was one of them, the zealot, because that's when he said, "Oh God, Jesus, let's just build a tent here and live here." How selfish of him. But honestly, I would have done the same thing. I'm just like, Jesus, let's just be you and I here on the top of this mountain. Yeah, the experience was too great. But anyway, needless to say, there were only 3 out of the 12 disciples that were taken up higher to the mountain of transfiguration, or even in the garden. Was it in the Garden of Gethsemane when they were called to pray? Or maybe it's the same event. I can't remember the progression of events. I haven't been reading my Bible. I need to go back to the New Testament so I can read the progression of those events. But there were also 3 that were taken. I can't remember if it's the same 3 that were on the Mount of Transfiguration, but that were in the garden with Jesus when he went back and he found them sleeping. And he said, "Can you not but watch just for an hour?" It wasn't everybody. It wasn't all 12 disciples. There were certain people that were chosen, which is what I'm saying today with the topic of this live. Is like, do you perhaps maybe have the wrong audience? Do you maybe have the wrong audience? Do you have the wrong people in the wrong room? Do you have the wrong people in your inner circle? Do you have the wrong people in your heart of hearts? Are you sharing things that are only for the inner court people to outer court people? Those that belong in the outer courts, acquaintances, and you're sharing things with them that should only be for the inner court, and the number reduces. It's just like a circle, right? A circle gets smaller the closer it gets on the inside. It starts big. If you keep drawing rings around the circle, like the very last circle is smaller, so that means it's fewer people in there. Could be only just one person in there. And you're out here sharing things that are meant for the inner circle, for the Holy of Holies, and you're sharing with people that are in the outer court. And so this meeting I attended today, you know, there were levels of what was being discussed. There's a level for the board of directors. So the board of directors, they're the ones that shape the whole, organization, the rules and everything. So there are meetings for the board of directors. What's discussed within the board of directors does not get to, for example, the interns. Does not get to the interns, right? What's discussed in the board of directors is different from what's discussed in the interns meeting. And then there's the ELT per se. I think the ELT, executive leadership team. So it's the board of directors, then there's the executive leadership team, and then there's maybe other people, I don't know what to call them, departmental heads per se, and then within a department, and it's called the accountability chart, right? It's the accountability chart. So there's the board of directors, there's the ELT, within the ELT, there's the visionary, there are also different levels within the ELT. And then it goes down in each department, there's a departmental head, and then it goes down maybe all the way to, I would say the bottom would be the interns, right? Every meeting in these subdivisions or subgroups is different. You're not discussing overall company goals with the interns. The interns are there to support what's up there, okay? And it just got me thinking, my goodness, no wonder why some of the dreams and visions we have don't actually come to pass, because you're sharing in the wrong room. You're sharing with the wrong people. You're sharing your dreams and visions with the wrong people. Have you ever had those people that are never encouraging? Never. And I'll never stop talking about this. I mean, I try to make it as vague as possible, but I will never forget this person when I shared with them that I wanted to go visit my family in London, England. It was 2020, I think, yeah. And they were like, oh, what are you going to go do there? Don't you know the highest case of COVID in London, England? Mind you, this person themselves, they had just traveled to some far country that was even, in my opinion, dangerous. Danger is different levels. And they even continued to travel maybe a couple of months after that. Me, I never go, oh, why do you want to go to that country? It's so dangerous. Maybe let's just say, for example, right now, hypothetically, I don't even know if it's true or not. I'm just saying hypothetically based on what's on the news in the Congo, there's Ebola. I never say that. I'll be like, okay, you feel like God is leading you to go to Congo? Well, if you feel like you've heard God, whatever, I support. But I noticed this person, honestly, every time I share big goals or big dreams like that with them, call it a voice of reason, but men or men, like a pattern, once, twice, they say once bitten, twice shy, right? When that repeats itself 3 times, it's like, I'm noticing a pattern here. Each time I share big goals with this person, they're always quick to squash. They're always quick to kill it. They're always quick to discourage. Or even when I share big news, like a promotion, like, oh, I got this job, I got this raise, oh my goodness, silence. You hear dead silence from this person. But let me just share about a struggle. They revel in my struggles. Like, I remember I was sharing a challenge that I was having in some living situation, and they were just like, everything. It's like they were excited to just hear the drama. Like, oh, so what's happening now? So what's gonna happen now? And I'm just like, I like to test people. I may act dumb. Maybe that's one of my biggest strengths, is being underrated. a lot of people underrate me because sometimes I come across as maybe to some people passive, but I am very observant. I am very observant and I like to read people. And part of it too, because I read a lot and I like psychology. So that helps me in just reading people. And I could be wrong. I'm not a psychologist just yet. So I don't know. I could be wrong. But I'm just saying. So if if I just mention a struggle that I have, this person will shout it to the rooftops. Oh, Isabel is going through this. Oh, Isabel, this. Isabel, that. But if I'm sharing good news, you hear crickets. You hear crickets. And I don't know. I'm not accusing anyone, but it just gives me to think, and I've since learned with certain people, I just won't share. I'm sorry, I just won't share. You will just hear it, and believe me, by the time you see it, it means it's already happened. I'm not going to share anything that is not. I share even with my travels here. By the time you see that I'm in Quebec, I'm already home. Okay, I'm already home. I'm not going to share things prematurely. No, I've learned. By the time I share with you that I've graduated, maybe it's already been 2 years since I graduated, okay? It's sad though. It's sad that we have to live our lives that way. But man, oh man, it's a lesson to learn. And and then you will complain, oh, how come you never told me this? How come you never shared? It's because of how you respond. It's because of how you responded, you know. And I remember there was a time too when I was trying to get a visa to go somewhere and it ended up not working out. And someone was just saying, oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy because now you get to come with me on this trip. Da, 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 da. And this was a trip that I didn't care much for, but they were so happy that this visa thing didn't work out when I really wanted to attend to this thing because, it was important to me, it was about my family. But they were, and to me, it's just like, I don't know. I don't understand. And I'm not perfect either. I probably have done this. But sometimes we really have to question our motives and also just not be quick to respond, to things and just also analyze ourselves. Maybe one of my greatest strengths as well is I really like to analyze myself. And I'm not perfect at doing it, but I like to. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I don't feel jealous of other people. I do, sometimes I do. But I have to follow why am I feeling jealousy about this person? Why am I have a friend of mine who does excellently well, like raising funds, like they're well connected. They could just come up with an idea like, oh, I wanna do this, I wanna go here. And they will come up with $5,000, $10,000 in no time. And sometimes I'm just like, oh man. And I'm trying to do this business that I've been trying to raise funds for, and it's just not working out. But then I have to realize, you know what, Isabel, just because someone else is winning, it doesn't mean that now there's scarcity for you. It doesn't mean that. It's someone who was a good friend used to say that if someone is winning, that means God is in the neighborhood. That means God is in your neighborhood. So that person's win is your win because guess what? You're about to win too. You're about to win too. And so perhaps, and I even get to an extent where I would talk. I remember there was a friend I was feeling jealous about, like the things that she was achieving. And I talked to that person. I sat her down and I said, you know what? I feel jealous. Because guess what, you guys? I know maybe most people who watch this video are not Christians, but if you're a Christian, remember Cain and Abel. Sin festers in secrecy. When you hide sin, when you pretend that it's not there, ooh, sin loves that. it's like adultery, like, or even fornication for those that are not married. Like when, like it's just like stolen. Is it, what does it say? Stolen grapes. Stolen grapes are so. Sin festers in secrecy, in darkness. But when you confess, there's something to that about the Catholics. I'm not Catholic anymore. I was. I studied, there. I went to Catholic schools, but I'm not anymore. I'm, Pentecostal now. But there's something about the confession of sins to the priest. But for me now, I'm just talking confessing your sins, even to a friend. Maybe it doesn't have to be that friend you're feeling jealous about. Maybe look for another friend and say, hey, I don't know. I just noticed nowadays I just really feel jealous about this person. I don't know why. Do you know, just you mentioning that, it's actually, it does something. It exposes the devil. It exposes evil. And evil does not like to be exposed. It doesn't like light. It likes darkness. Likes darkness. There was a song we used to sing at the Catholic school about darkness. It's the verse in the Bible. I can't remember, but it's just like, ooh, when it's dark, sin is like, ooh, it's happy. But so, yeah, like, guys, let's examine ourselves and let's just, I don't know. And I'm examining myself too, because it's like, why am I feeling jealous? And jealous is not necessarily a bad thing, actually. This liberated me. This actually really liberated me, that jealousy is not necessarily a bad thing. It's not always a bad thing. It's a bad thing if you let it fester, or if it turns into envy. Now you want what that person has, right? But jealousy is an indication of what you want to say. Maybe somebody bought a house. Somebody bought a house, and ooh, you're jealous that the person bought a house. That means you also want your own home. You also want to have the freedom of owning your own home. Or maybe you're jealous that someone got married. That means you also desire the same thing. But guess what? The fact that that person got married doesn't mean that no more marriage for you. No, it just means that there's marriage for you. If anything, maybe go ask that person, how did you do it? How did you start a business? Let's normalize learning from other people. Like, let's normalize that. You go ask that person, how did you buy your house? Oh, is that how you did it? How did you improve your credit for you to be able to buy, not just to stew alone, in that envy, in that jealousy, in that, I don't know. And also be wise. Be wise who you're letting into your inner court, who you're letting into the bigger picture of your life. Don't just let people need to be tested. People need to be tried. Test people a little with a little something, and if it gets out there, or if you get a response that you were not expecting, then don't trust that person, with bigger things. And when you do share your struggles or the things that you're struggling with, for example, if it's jealousy or envy, make sure you also talk to trusted people, because some people now will go shout to the rooftops all over the world, and they will be exposing your weaknesses, and you don't want that. Share with trusted people that you can trust with, like you can trust them to cover you in prayer, not to go be excited about your troubles, like, oh, she's in debt, oh, she's struggling with lust. No, you want someone who will cover you in prayer, someone who will encourage you, be your brother's keeper or your sister's keeper. And just no, like, don't be sharing inner court things with outer court people. I used to have the same problem. I would call people friends who didn't look at me as their friend. To them, we were just acquaintances. We go to the same church. Or to them, we just acquaintances. We attend the same school, or we live in the same neighborhood, or we are part of the same community, the Zimbabwean community. But they were not my friends, And also you can group friends, there are different friends. They are friends to just travel with, their friends to just go out with and eat, their friends to go drink or to go clubbing with if you go to clubs or drink, their friends to pray with, to cover you in prayer, to intercede with. Maybe normalize grouping those people and just know this friend I only call when I need covering in prayer. This friend I call when I need encouragement. This friend I call when I have a big vision and I need support. This friend I call, it's okay, And it's okay to have just one friend. Sometimes we feel like, oh, if I don't have 10 friends, then I must be failing in life. Sometimes you just need one. And sometimes that friend could be your daughter. I don't know, just normalize that. Normalize that, and you are who you hang around. You are who you hang around. Like they say, if you hang around five broke people, you better believe it, you're going to be the sixth one, because these people, there's no alignment. You're not going in the same direction. You want to go build your business. You want to be creating content, but they want to go clubbing. There's no alignment there. There's no alignment. So this is all I had to say. Levels. There are levels in life. Forgive the noise behind me, but I just wanted to share that because we all need reminders, okay? We all need reminders. Like I always say, I never come here to share something because I've arrived. In fact, I share whether it's struggles, whether it's achievements, it's because I'm learning and I'm working through it. Or maybe it's just a lesson that I've learned. And I like to share because I feel like when you share something, you know how they say a problem half shared is half solved? So when I share what my lessons, then that's going to help someone else maybe avoid something in the future. Or maybe they won't, but once they are in that problem, they will remember a thing I said. I'm always learning, and I'm a sponge. I am a sponge. I'm constantly learning. Everything is a lesson for me, and this is how I honestly want to be remembered, and I hope that will be on my epitaph. If Jesus tarries and I go by death, that she always looked at everything as a lesson. I don't mope around. Sometimes I do, but I don't stay down. Everything is a lesson for me. Someone took what I told them when I trusted them and they weaponized it and used it against me. That's a lesson. I'm learning never to trust that person again. For me, everything is a lesson. I view life is a lesson. Pain is a lesson. Everything is a lesson. Maybe that's why a lot of people, maybe you don't think that way, but a lot of people always compliment my skin and that I don't look as old as I am. And to be honest, I attribute it to God first. And I do eat well. I'm not gonna lie. I tried my best to eat right and try to take care of my skin, but part of it is I don't stress. I like peace. If anything, I love my peace. I'm not even gonna stress. So I always look at everything as a lesson. I don't mope around. I don't stay there. I would just be like, that was a lesson. You did that one. Fool me once, fool me twice, then I am the fool. If you fool me, you succeed in fooling me twice, that means I'm the fool, right? Once bitten, twice shy. So I always look at everything as a lesson. What was the lesson there? What did I listen? What did I learn? What can I do to avoid that next time? What can I do to be better next time? What can I do? That's how I view my life. And that gives me peace. And I give everything to God. And that helps me stay constantly in a state of peace. And once there's misalignment, honestly, I feel it in my body immediately. When there's no peace and unrest in my body, I feel it immediately in my body. So I try to do that every night before I go to sleep. When I'm just like winding down, I think about the day and what happened and what went wrong and how I could have avoided that. And then, I take the lessons and I leave it to God and I go to bed. And when I wake up, I feel good. Everything is good. We start over. Okay? We start over. I'm just not going to give you my purse again for you to steal my money. If I gave you my purse last time and my $20 was missing, this is just an analogy, okay, hypothetically. It, it, I would be a fool to give you my purse again to watch, because last time I gave you my purse, when I looked, $20 was missing, and maybe I tested you again, $40 was missing. I would be a fool to give you my purse again for you to watch for me. Okay? So I learn, I keep it moving. I move forward. I move forward in peace. Because peace, for me, I will protect my peace the best I know how. I will even pay money to protect my peace, extra money if I have to protect my peace. Okay? Bye, y'all.